Good evening, Isaac. How are you, sir?
I am good, Ryan. How are you tonight?
Good. It is actually chilly in the south. It feels really nice and cool, and I haven't washed my hair today, so this is the best it's going to be. So,
Hence the hat. That's fair.
yes, exactly.
That's
That's what you get. So, it's
what's chilly in the South? I don't understand what that means.
yeah. So chilly in the south is like 39-ish. So it's not actually cold. It's just like it's it's nice for us larger gentlemen. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair. That's fair.
yeah.
We hit a high of 16 today, so
Oh, that's nice. So, see, I feel like if my wife moved north of here, she would just drop dead. She would go outside. She'd be like, I'm done. She'll lay out on the street. She can't do cold at all. So we went walking, and it was a lot for her.
yeah,
So
that's funny.
yeah.
Well, better to stay in
Anyway,
the South.
yeah, you want to introduce our guest for tonight's game chat?
I do. Yeah, we are being joined by Mr. Ken Franklin from over at Calliope Games. There is Ken. Ken, thanks for joining us tonight.
It is an
Yeah.
absolute blessing to be in the presence of both of you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ken.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We wanted to add him in. We're gonna be talking about some of the best things of 2021, and we thought let's see if we can get Ken on and talk kind of a little bit about what we liked and some of what you're doing over there with Calliope and with your own personal stuff. But we'll get to that part. So
Yeah. So actually, you wanted to have this chat 2 weeks ago. You were like, "Hey, ready to talk about those top games?" And I was like, "I haven't even put my list out, man. Hold on 1 second." So yeah.
I know I felt late on mine getting it.
Well, so I got stuck in that cycle of trying to do something perfectly, and I finally had to break down a little while back and just be like, it's not going to be perfect. I just got to go with it. I was trying to do video content for the top 10 like I did the previous year. It just, I didn't have time,
Yeah.
family members, our house has been quarantining, just didn't have the time. And so I went with a written list, which is fine. It works.
Gets
So,
the job done. That's what I did.
Yep. So,
Well, we had an opening question today. So looking at, we're talking about our top games, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about, is there like a certain gaming memory, a thing from this year that really stood out to you that like, oh, in 2021, I got to play this with this group of people or go do this thing. What's kind of what stands out? And Ken, you're
Yeah.
shaking your head. I think maybe you got an idea for yours.
Oh, absolutely. It falls under PAX Unplugged.
Okay.
It was the first convention I've attended since before the pandemic began. The organizers spent a great deal of time making sure that everyone was vaccinated, boosted, careful, and masked while inside. And that allowed the tension level in the entire convention hall to go down 6 degrees. We were able to meet face to face with people we had formed friendships with only online during the pandemic, and actually sit down at a table with them. And that was nothing but pure joy for 3 full days.
That's really cool.
Wholeheartedly agree. It was a great, and it did feel, I mean, Origins was good, but it felt like there's just this different layer of like, okay, I know everybody around here is vaccinated, and everybody was good at Origins with wearing a mask, but it was just it was a little different. It hit different. I would agree.
Yep. That's really cool.
It had a constant intimate feeling. I tried to cram way too much in. My watch said, went from "you've met your calorie goal" to "my, that's a good day you're having" to "what are you thinking?"
That's funny.
That's
awesome.
fun when you see that across your Apple Watch.
That's
My
awesome.
my watch was telling me that it was stolen because it hadn't seen me go more than like 2,000 feet in a year and a half. So when I went to Origins, my watch was like, "I'm sorry, your watch has been stolen. I don't know whose wrist I'm on, but they walked a mile and a half today."
That's hilarious.
Anyway,
how about yourself, Ryan? What stood out for you?
So Skull King this year, one of the things that kind of prompted Skull King to come to the table a lot this year was that our Patreon backers, we do a reverse birthday gift every year in June. June is the month that we started One Board Family, and so we give to our top Patreon backers, we give them a game that we really love. And so this year it was Skull King. And so
Awesome.
when we gave Skull King, we got we got a copy of the new edition, and it just hit the table over and over and over for us throughout the year. But there was one particular night that really stands out. My friend Blake, his birthday was he was celebrating his birthday. It was 4th of July, either 4th of July or it was that week or weekend. And we bust out Skull King, gave him a copy of it. We busted out. We were playing, and he is so far down, like no chance of winning. So he goes 0 in the 10th round, hoping to win 100 points. He ends up getting it, and him and Aaron tied, finishing up. And I was like, well, that's it. That's how you roll. Tie 300 and something points.
Wow.
And he was like, no, we have to play one more round. But to teach him humility, we told him he had to accept the tie on his birthday. So
That's fair. It's not a bad. It's not a
it
bad
was
thing.
crazy. And how it all came out, like somebody played a mermaid, and he threw that he had the Skull King and still bet 0. I was blown away. I was like, I cannot believe you just did that. So
Wow.
it was an epic game of Skull King on a birthday.
That's awesome. Yeah, I went through my BG stats and just started looking at different games we'd played and places, and kind of hit a lot of memories, PAX Origin stuff that we did. We had a birthday party for a good friend of mine this summer that it was an all-day gaming thing, and that was a blast. And all those games, but the one that really stuck out for me was actually a birthday party for JT, one of the 4 on our team. And we went away and I get this, his family has this big cottage farmhouse basically. And we pulled out a ton of games, played a bunch of stuff, but JT, Randy, Stewart, myself, and then our friend Davo, we played a game that you need the right group of people to play, and you need to play it with that 5 count, which is Moonrakers. If you haven't played this, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to, but this game
I've heard a lot about it.
Oh, it's vicious. And
Really?
you need a group that's fine with cutthroat. I'm gonna have you help me, then I'm gonna screw you over. Then I'm gonna have we're gonna work together to get this guy. There's just a lot of that back and forth around the table, and the 4 of us played competitive Dice Masters for years, so we loved the back and forth and the competitive stuff. So it was just it was fun getting into the table with those guys. I hadn't seen them for well over a year.
Yeah.
And playing something where we could actually get at each other a little bit is always a fun gaming experience.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Well, I had one particular experience while at PAX U that I'm still riding high on. I became a full-time game designer in 2017 when I retired from family medicine. I was a family doc for 40 years.
Nice.
And 25 of those in the Army. And Mansky Caper got published the next year, but I felt called to design games. And the one game I wanted to design was a game where your score was based on the number of positive relationships you could form. And I went through 3 designs, all of which worked very well as vacuum cleaners, because they all sucked. But about 5 weeks before PAX U, my colleague Jason Slingerland and I finally hit on a design that worked.
Nice.
We took it, we played it 4 times in 2 hours at Chris Goodlet's meet and greet.
Nice.
On Saturday night, with 4 players, 4 times, got tons of positive response. Matter of fact, while I was on the way to the airport, 2 people actually tweeted that play test was the highlight of PAX U for them.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
And I signed it Saturday.
Oh wow!
That's sweet.
Congratulations, Ken. That's awesome. I didn't know
awesome
that part
news.
of it. That just this Saturday, right? Just a few days ago.
Just
2 days
48 hours
ago.
ago. Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
very cool.
Congratulations.
So,
Yeah.
That's the 2022 highlight right there.
yeah.
There we go.
Well, it'll probably be a couple of years before it hits shelves, because right now with the supply chain issues, everybody's pipeline is clogged.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
really
enjoy
cool.
I enjoy games. I didn't put this up here just to pander. I mean, I do really enjoy Mansky Caper. It is in my
That's cool.
collection. Is a
Well, thank
game
you.
I enjoy playing. I've also got a friend who's a family physician who's probably watching this right now, and I think he could probably be like, "Hey, I could retire and start designing games." So
There we go.
you might
Well,
be setting the
I
path
give
for
all the
that.
credit to God. I was sitting there praying. I said, okay now, God, I'm retired. I'll do anything you want. Just what do you want? Oh, I got to call Chris about this game. I'm sorry. Got focusing on praying for thank you and friends and then there's this other prototype I got to work on. And God said, look, you've been asking me to answer your prayer.
There you go.
This is my answer. Your calling is to make board games. I said,
It's awesome.
really? Cool. And it's been nothing but joy ever since.
That's really
Love
cool.
it. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Well, so we've got our we made top 10s, 5s, 20s,
Mhm.
100s, whatever it is. There's games that don't make that top list,
Yeah.
but maybe it was a game that really surprised you, right? Like,
Yeah.
is there what game in 2021 did you really enjoy, really surprised you, kind of took you and like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that was going to be that good or that fun. Is there anything that really stands out for you guys?
I would say
You
I
want
had
me to go
two.
first?
Yeah, Ken, you go first.
Go for it.
I played it twice in the last 48 hours, and it's Restoration Games Return to Dark Tower.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
It's by far the best app implementation of a game that I've ever experienced.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
You have this, I am not exaggerating, this is a
Yeah.
good 13-inch tall, 4-inch across, gorgeously sculpted tower with LEDs flickering like torches in a dungeon.
That's awesome.
Bluetooth connects to your with your iPad or your iPhone. Wonderful board around it. 2 to 4 player co-op, although there is a competitive version. We're thoroughly enamored. We've lost twice, but we've had a great deal of fun losing.
I think that's a telling thing when you lose a game and you're still smiling and you're still excited to play it again. Like that's very telling of
No, it
a good
stings
experience.
because we really wanted to win,
Yeah, absolutely.
but we felt like we gave it our best effort, and we're not giving up.
Yep, that's good.
Awesome.
Mine are smaller experiences, but I've got two actually. One of them, the board game, is over there. I'm not going to go get it. One is Combo Clash. Combo Clash is a small game that I've talked about a lot. We received this just unsolicited. It showed up one day, and I didn't have it on my radar. Knew nothing about it. And this game, this is probably your second or third most played game of 2021. I think the reason why it didn't make my top 10 list is because it's kind of in that 11 to 15 range.
Yeah.
But we played this game so much. We took it on family vacations. On my birthday, we had a 10-hour gaming marathon. And one of the things that popped up during it, I was like, let's do a Combo Clash tournament. Everybody jumped into that, and it was really, really fun. So Combo Clash is a huge surprise. Like, I did not expect to love the game like I do. And my kids also. Like, if I bring Combo Clash to the table, my kids will be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's play right now, which is great. And then the other is Buried Treasure at the end of Restoration Games again. At the end of 2021 in December, they published Buried Treasure. Oh man, it's good.
I love me some Sid Saxon games, man.
Yeah.
Since I hear Sid Saxon published that, I was all over it like a cheap suit.
It's so good. And we've played it over and over and over. It traveled with us during Christmas. We taught family members how to play it during Christmas and New Year's. My wife and I love the 2-player variant that's in the book. It works really, really well, and it changes the game quite a bit. It's Buried Treasure's excellent game. So really surprised at how much we love that.
The thing I love about Buried Treasure is because everybody has perfect information.
Yes.
You can watch the take that materialize in front of you. I'm either going to step in this bear trap, or I'm going to step in this bear trap. Which limb am I going to leave?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it'll be this one.
I think that's what I like so much about it. There are those take that games that you're just targeting somebody because you have some vendetta or you just think it's funny to target them. Whereas in Buried Treasure, it's very much like it is targeted, like you are targeting a person because of a specific reason. You know, if you target just anybody at the table,
Mhm.
you're going to play terribly, you know. But if you target them
It's nothing
you
personal.
know, yeah, it's not personal.
It's
It's
all
very
on the
purposeful.
Yeah, it is purposeful targeting. I do love
Yeah,
that. And it's
yeah.
quick. Like I love a game that's got some punching and take that, but I don't want to play it for 2 hours. Like give
Yeah,
me
yeah,
20 minutes of it. Let's have some, let's have some fisticuffs here, have some fun brawling, and then we'll put it away and play something else. But
absolutely. Yep.
everybody I've introduced it to has loved it. Like it's
It's
just
so good.
it was a blast. I really enjoyed it as well. So Buried Treasure was definitely a surprise for me as well. But gosh, and it's funny because I went through my list of my 11 through 20
Mhm.
because I kind of ranked my top 20, 25 new games to me. I played, I think it's 58 new games, or 58 games were made in 2021
Okay.
and or published in 2021. And one that hit around 11, 12 for me, honestly, it was another one that got a review copy and was like, okay, it's a small box card game. I'll
Mhm.
get to this. And is one of our most played games this year. Honest to goodness, this was in my top 5 most played games
Yep.
this year. Is Enchanted Plumes. Like this game was so much fun. Like I couldn't. It's pretty, right? I love how beautiful of a game
Mhm.
this is,
It's
but
by Calliope
There we
Games.
go.
it is indeed. I'm not pandering, but
Mhm.
I'm Bob level with this. Like the
Mhm.
corners are taped because I've played this thing so much it's
Yeah,
fallen apart
yeah.
at the seams. Like it's just a beautiful game.
That's
What
cool.
I find interesting is it does say 2 to 5 players, but it plays up to 6.
Yeah, that is a misprint from the
Huh.
first printing. The second print is on the boat. So if you'll kind of keep track of that and take care of it, you could probably eBay it in 2054 for some 5-figure amount.
There we go. Yeah.
But it like it was
Then 5 figures is what it'll take to buy a Hershey bar. So I don't know.
But it was just such a fun surprise when I started going through. I'm like, oh, 6? Like 6 is a sweet spot
Yeah.
for a card
Yeah.
game for me. Like that's 3 couples sitting at the table, right?
Yeah.
That's
Calliope doesn't publish anything that doesn't go at least to 6.
Oh,
there
really?
we go.
That's one of
Okay.
the prime requirements to pitch a game to Calliope. It has to have a range up to 6.
Interesting.
And
Very cool.
8 to 12 would be even better. And there are a lot of our games that go to 8. But
Yeah,
Nice.
this one's a winner. This one surprised me. Travels with me everywhere we go. Ryan, have you had a chance to play
I
Enchanted Plumes?
haven't, but I've heard so many good things. I think Mick and Starla from our family plays
Oh,
board
yeah.
games. I believe the Smiths from Family Gamers.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people talk about the game, but I've never actually sat down and played it.
yeah,
I've been putting
Starla's
around a
number
copy.
1.
So.
It's mixed
Yeah, I would say
number
Starla
5.
loves it.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good stuff. Highly recommend, and was definitely my surprise. Like, oh man, this is great game of this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good.
So we're looking at top 5
Yep.
board games 2021. We made a list. Ryan and I cut our 10 and 5. Ken's got a list of his top 5. I'd say we just start at 5 and kind of work our way around the board, right? Is that
Okay.
fair?
Well,
Sounds
I'm going
good.
to preface my list by saying I hate making top number lists
Okay.
because I played a grin. I love just about everything I play, and I own 350 games. And I get 30 or 40 new games a year. And I enjoy 95% of them. And deciding which one of the best is really hard for me. So I would say that this is 5 within the cream of the games that I have.
Fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yep.
But there's
Absolutely.
plenty more. I mean, my honorable mention list would be longer than the top 5, but we don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my number 5 is Cubidos, which I do not have a copy of here. It's back in Vicksburg. So
Oh, I've got it. Hold on. I'm gonna grab. That's right. I was gonna hold up copies for a couple of the games. That
well, I have my
hold on.
other here, but I didn't
okay.
have.
Finally, we got rid of him. Oh, he's still here. Never mind.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of me that quickly.
Cubidos, I love dice games. I love building building games where you're trying to improve yourself over time. I love games that have multiple ways to victory. And there's just a lot of tasty surprises in Cubitos.
I love it.
And we've gotten that tabled a couple of times, and we're going to keep that around because it is very accessible, very clever, and lots of different ways to play it.
That's right.
It scratches that Quacks of Quedlinburg itch very much, and so yeah, no doubt about enjoying that.
That's awesome.
I really that would probably be right outside of my top 10. It was actually one of the games that I was really excited for at the beginning of the year, and I only got to play it. I picked up a copy. I purchased it at Southern Fried Gaming Expo over the summer, and then got to play it. Played it a couple times, introduced the kids to it. One of our family friends, their child had a birthday, and he wanted to come over and hang out and play board games in our board game library, and we taught him how to play that game, and he loved it. So yeah, very good game.
Awesome.
So my number 5 is Zombicide. So Zombicide Second Edition. This one was a game that I've always wanted to play. Zombicide. It seems like silly, throwing dice, talking junk, blowing up zombies, that sort of thing going on, and it's just a silly game, you know. And so when this came to Kickstarter, I told my wife, I said, "Hey, do you mind if I spend $100 on a board game?" She's like, "That's fine. I know you'll love it." So it showed up at the beginning of 2021, and I really loved going on these co-op adventures, blowing up zombies, having a lot of fun with my friends. We were just kind of coming out of the pandemic, in things were getting better at the time, and people were coming over in the spring. We were setting it up on the table, playing a couple times during the weekend. And then also my grandmother died in April, and I was painting miniatures during that time period, and it actually helped me a lot with the grief. It kind of helped me process. It kind of helped me be alone for a minute. It was really good. So Zombicide, silly, crazy fun. Zombicide is my number 5. So,
are the comments showing up for you on your end, Ryan?
They are. So
okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
And I know sometimes it hasn't.
Yeah, sometimes they don't show up, which is weird for me. But yeah, and then Bob played it for the first time, and he immediately went all in and bought everything. So secondhand.
So what? So the new Marvel Zombies is based off of Zombicide, right? That's coming.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm willing to spend. I don't know.
I honestly hadn't considered it, but man, as much as you and Bob talk about it, I may go in at a base level of that. I don't know that I want the giant Galactus.
I could buy a lot of games for the price of one Zombie Galactus. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Now, my son and my daughter-in-law love minis. They are wonderful D&D players. My daughter-in-law paints minis as a business called Brunette with a Brush.
Sweet.
And she would do a lot of things to make a lot of money to try to get that Galactus.
Yeah. It looks really. So the campaign launches tomorrow. We'll see. I think it's going to be priced outside of what I'm willing to pay. So we'll see. So
I gotta imagine.
I'll be passing it, but I'll be admiring it.
There we go.
Yeah, I may get the base set, get enough to get a little bit of stuff with it, because I don't have Zombicide at all. Going on that, but
so Bob says he's going all in on it, which means that I get to play with him when this virus stops.
So Bob is going to be selling all of his Zombicide so that he can buy Marvel Zombies.
There we go.
So my number 5 kind of came. It was like a team being at like not even in the playoff contention, then winning everything in the last 5 or 6 games. I didn't play this one until December, and like the second week of December, I think I played it. And then my son and I subsequently played it I think we have like 15 games logged of this
Nice.
thing that we played in a matter of like 2-3 weeks.
Mhm.
And he still wants to keep playing it. I need, that balance, right? You got stuff to review, but you also want to
Yeah,
play stuff you
yeah.
enjoy. But I can't wait to keep exploring That Time You Killed Me,
Oh,
because this game is nuts. Like,
Yeah.
it's in my top 5 all-time 2-player only games for sure. It does all the things that Shobu does and just takes it to a whole nother level.
That's really cool.
The time travel part of this game, and I don't want to spoil, and I'd highly advise, if you are interested in this game, don't look for stuff that spoils the boxes. Like, open them and enjoy them as you go. Like, the gameplay just opens different depth levels as it goes, but still being a basic time travel game. And you've got 3 boards, you're trying to eliminate somebody off of 2 or 3 of the boards, and you can move to the past, to the present, to the future. You make copies of yourself.
That's really cool.
It's very, very strategic. If you like chess,
as a person who helped design Back to the Future Dice Through Time, I can tell you that I own that game and enjoy it.
Yeah.
My wife's not too much fun with us playing a 2-player game about killing each other. One thing that game does have a lot going for it is it has the tastiest rule book of the year.
Oh man, it's so well written. The art, the graphic
cool.
design. I remember Danny told us that this was a guy who does advertisement only design. Like, this was his first kind of step into the board game world, and they said, this is the story, draw whatever art you want. I mean, so when you look at this cover, like, they didn't give him direction. They just said, like, you do you, right?
That's
and it's
really
like
cool.
It's so cool. It's an hourglass getting stabbed by a sword. Like, it's just it's a fun game. I can't say good enough things about this game if you enjoy a good 2-player back and forth kind of game.
Yeah, and I feel like you've kind of convinced me to look into it. It was a game that I really didn't have any desire to play, but you have hyped it up for me to the point where I actually want to play it now. So
yeah, we keep doing that to each other.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll make you buy a game. You make me buy a game. That happens.
Yeah, that's why I might go in on Zombie Side. So it's pretty
There
much
we go.
because of you. So we're up to number 4.
All right. Well, number 4 is from AEG, Cascadia.
So good.
Love me some puzzles. This is considered to be the successor to Calico, that wonderful quilting game, because it has a lot of the same mechanics of having 2 or 3 scoring mechanisms that you must juggle like chainsaws in front of you if you're going to do well. And but each turn goes like clockwork. Very simple rules.
Yep.
And I love elegant games like that.
It is. It's pretty. It's just a pretty game.
Yeah.
Beth Sobel continues to just be one of my favorite artists.
Absolutely.
By far.
So Cascadia, Bob brought Cascadia over to the house, and we played that earlier this year when it fulfilled through Kickstarter. Was it Kickstarter? Was it a Kickstarter fulfillment?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
Okay. So we played it when it came in. I've played it 2 or 3 times now. I like it. I like it a lot. Have either of you played Overboss?
I have not yet. I've seen it. Just haven't played it.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one, because I bought Overboss in the spring when it hit retail, because I'd seen so many great things about it. I actually, both Cascadia and Overboss do a lot of the same things, but I like Overboss slightly better. It has almost like modules that you can play with or choose not to play with. There's some take that you can add into the game. There's asymmetric boss abilities that you can add into the game. And I love how that game grows, because I can teach my kid how to play it, but then a seasoned gamer can come over to the house and I can add 2 things into it, and it's a different game,
Sure.
And so that was a tough one, because Cascadia was so pretty. It has a definite, it feels really good like Calico does. But then there were so many similarities to Overboss that I had to put Overboss on the list.
Yeah.
So Cascadia is awesome.
One of the things that I look at as a side benefit when I'm deciding whether to get a game is I have 4 grandchildren, 18, 8, 6, and 3.
Nice.
And Grandpa is the gamer. So when they come over, they want to play games. But of course, when they're playing games based on their age, they get to come up with the rules.
Okay.
Cascadia is a game where their imagination can come up with lots of cool different rules.
Mhm.
And we'll play with it. We'll play with it for 10 minutes, and then we'll put it away. We'll get another game out. We'll make up new rules for that. And that's kind
That's
of
awesome.
how I grew up playing games. So
Nice.
I enjoy passing on that experience. So any kind of a game that has components that are accessible, pretty, and trigger imagination, I'm all over.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
Yeah,
why I
really
love
cool.
Planet. That's why I love Planet. You know, you
That's
get
good.
out this planet and everybody's putting them together. They don't care what what combinations or numbers you get.
Yep.
You know, you're putting together planets. And
Yep.
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
kind of games are always hated for me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, those aesthetic games, like those are the games my wife, I know I set Cascadia on the table, like I've got her hooked just on the visual, right?
Yep.
Floriferous, Whatnot Cabinet, Calico, those are the games that like the puzzly abstract stuff, like she loves it. And
So good. Yep.
that one gets a lot of play. We introduced Cascadia this last weekend to a couple who we've kind of slowly got into board games that are big nature, national park kind of guys. So we
Nice.
started with parks. We started with, some of those games, and I was like, oh, you guys are gonna love this. Like just
Yeah,
aesthetically,
yeah.
it's gonna hit for you. So
That's awesome. So my number 4 is the only one on my top 10 list that I don't actually own. It is Nidavellir. It is the dwarf drafting game.
I have it
We
around
played
here
it
somewhere.
on. You've got a copy of it.
somewhere.
So Nidavellir is really, really cool. It's one of my favorite drafting games, I think. You're drafting these dwarfs from different pubs that you are putting. You're basically putting money on the different pubs, and you're drafting the dwarves, and you're getting bonuses. You're getting these heroes based on filling up the lines of each class of dwarf. It's really, really cool. I love playing it online. I've actually not played the physical version of it yet, but I love playing it online. Bob's got a copy of it, so hopefully I'll be playing it very, very soon. But I've played that about a dozen times already. Love it. So
BGA version's great because it
Yeah.
keeps track of the points really smooth for you.
Yep.
We played that actually Thursday night, and I did you can pick up the
Yeah,
the
I
guy
played
that
with you
lets
guys. Yep.
you. I played Thursday at a friend's house, like live.
Oh,
copy.
okay.
We played, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. and
Yeah,
then
we played
earlier in the
sometime
week.
last week. Yeah.
But I did the thing where you could, chuck 2 cards. So I was getting
Mhm.
guys to chuck a row to add more to my row, and I got I think I ended up with 5 or 6 of the boss guys, and
That's cool.
it's a smooth drafting game, and
It really
it's,
is. Yeah.
The expansions add a lot to it too.
That's cool.
My number 4 is further down your list, and we're going to do this to each other a couple times.
Yes.
as soon as
Yeah,
I
I
look
think
at the
the rest
list.
of our list is pretty much the same, just in different order.
So my yeah, pretty close. My number 4 is also your number 3 as I
Mhm.
look, and that is Capstone's Juicy Fruits.
Yes.
Juicy Fruits is just the name alone made me go, okay, well, tell me more, right? And then the
Yeah,
art
yeah.
alone goes, okay, definitely tell me more. And then you get those big old chunky fruits that this thing
Yep.
has, and you I'm hook, line, and sinker in at that point.
It's so good.
It's a strategic game that's family friendly that you
Yes.
can ramp up. I love a game that lets me ramp up the difficulty in family friendly
Yeah.
versus okay, let's work a little harder. And even the ramp up isn't that much
Yeah.
more difficult, right? I
Yep.
mean, it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, it's just a beautiful game, right? I'm not a big
Yeah.
theme guy, but I'm a big aesthetic guy. Like I want
Mhm.
my game to look good.
I love it
And,
that when my mom looked at the top 10 list that I published a week and a half ago, she looked at it and she said, "That smoothie game is on my list. I love that game."
That's
And
awesome.
so I was like, "It's not a smoothie game. It's about shipping fruits."
Yeah, and
But
making
she
smoothies.
Yeah, she remembered it as a smoothie game. I was like, "Whatever, that's fine." She really liked it though. So
Yeah, super solid.
Okay,
All
I guess
right.
that's back to me for number 3
Yep.
then.
Number 3.
Super Mega Lucky Box.
great game.
Awesome
you
game.
can teach in 90 seconds,
Hmm.
and everybody knows it. And you could play this with your grandma in assisted living and have a great time.
Yep.
And you could also play this with your grandkids and have a great time.
Yep.
I love the idea of dry erase marker wipe off components.
Yep.
That's why I included in my game that just got signed.
Awesome.
But it's very easy, and I love games that have moments. And those
Yeah.
games starting early in the second round, when you got this popcorn that sets off this popcorn that sets off that popcorn, everybody has those giggle moments when you play that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Chain lightning.
That wins it for me.
That's really good.
Yeah, we got it's gonna be one of my go-to con games. I bought two. They fit perfectly in one box, so it plays up to 12 people. And when we were at PAX, I think it was Saturday night, they were getting ready to kick us out. They were closing, I think, at midnight or 1. I can't remember what time the game room closed, and open gaming. And it was 10 till, and they're coming around telling us, and I just got it out. 12 people, 9 of which had never played it before. They're like, you only got 10 minutes. I'm like, I can get this done in 10 minutes.
There we go.
So I taught it real
challenging
quick.
me?
I didn't play. I just took the cards and I went full bingo hall. And I was like 6, 5, 9, 1, done. And they're like, what was the last number? I'm like, doesn't matter. Keep moving. And, Luna was playing with us, and God bless her. Luna's the sweetest thing in the world. And every little popcorn moment she had, she's like, oh, and it was a lot of
awesome.
a lot of screaming. Bob nailed it. Yeah, it was definitely chaos.
Yeah.
But it was fun chaos, and it was something we had beautiful chaos. We had fun playing it, and like Ken said, it's that like bing 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 bing.
Yep.
Like people just pick it up. It's gamers bingo,
really good.
right? And people enjoy
this
it.
Is my favorite expression at a game table.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's plenty of that in Super Mega Lucky Box.
Yeah, Super Mega Lucky Box traveled with us all during Christmas, all during Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It went to every family event. It was a lot of fun. We got to play that a lot. So, and I bought 2 copies. Originally, I was going to gift one of them, but we needed 2 copies. So we just kept the other one. So, yeah, you heard my number 3 already. So Juicy Fruits, excellent game. Bob brought it over. When he picked it up, I was a little hesitant. I was like, Juicy Fruits, what? And then I was like, Capstone? Yeah, I'll give it a try. I'm down with that. And this is just such a great game. Chunky pieces. It's a game that, like, it's meatier than you expect when you look at the box and when you look at even reading the description. You don't realize how strategic this game can be. Love Juicy Fruits. It's going to be one that stays in our collection for a very long time.
Absolutely. I am always in admiration of games that can come in at a purchasable level with such components.
Absolutely.
Because putting high quality components, especially the chunky ones, in a box and selling it for less than your monthly salary is getting darn hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Zombicide, everybody expects to be writing out a big check.
Correct. Yeah.
But a game that you can reach into your wallet and pay for that has that level of components is pretty impressive.
It is. And
go ahead.
When I found it, actually, we were traveling around the time when I was like, we had just played it with Bob, and I was like, I need to find this game. I called up a local game store that I knew about that we were traveling through Florida, and I called this game store that I've known for a couple of years, and I was like, hey, do you have Juicy Fruits? And they were like, yeah, we do. And I was like, that's fantastic. And to buy that game for $39 is just, I feel like it's a steal,
For sure. Yep.
So
there's a few game companies that make the presentation, right, the priority, not only in the quality of the components, but how you open the box and can start playing the game, right? And I remember years ago, like when we first started doing game coverage, sitting down with Chris from over at Calliope, and him saying that the most important thing to him was that when you open a box, you could start playing the game. And I didn't think about that. But I think about it all the time. Like I literally open a box and go, oh my gosh, I've got to punch all this stuff and stick with all these things.
Oh, you mean have the rule book on top?
Yeah.
Have everything you need ready to play?
I mean, I've
never heard of such a thing.
I mean, it makes such a difference, right?
Yeah.
Like when you've got like a table of people ready to play a game, you want to play the game, right? And not, I mean, I see people post that they have to sticker stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds horrific. Yeah, 25th Century, 100%.
Yeah,
Burn Island games, Kids
Yep.
Table, right, along with Calliope, Forbidden Games, like
Yep.
all their stuff is super solid too. So some super good companies doing some really good stuff with components. But like you said, Capstone, killing it with that game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
I am not going to say my number 3 since it's your number 1, Ryan. I'm gonna let you talk
you
about it.
sure? Okay.
I'm gonna let you talk about it. I'll talk about it when you bring it up, but then
Okay.
you can skip your number 2 when we get to it. So
Okay, sounds good.
that way it
All right.
balances out. So
There
that'll
you go.
circle us back around to
That's right.
number 2.
Yep.
Number 2. Well, we've already talked about number 2.
There we go.
Enchanted Plumes by Calliope. I got to test this game. I love to test games, and I love new experiences. And I also, one of the things I do for Calliope is I put together tabletop simulator mods of all the games for testing.
Oh, nice.
And for demoing to people during the time when viruses are trying to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
And Enchanted Plumes was one of those that was a special delight. And,
That's cool.
Again, lots of tough decisions for simple set of rules, and that aha moment about when the game's going to end.
Yeah.
I love games where the ending is simple and unexpected, but completely fair because nobody knows when it's going to be.
Right.
And Mansky Caper is that way, Enchanted Plumes is that way, and it really makes the tension ramp up steadily throughout the play.
That's cool.
Also, always ends way sooner than it's supposed to. It's like, no, I need 7 more cards. There's only 12 cards left in that deck, but I bet I can get 7 out of it.
This is a game that will teach you not to be greedy.
Oh,
there we go.
My son's a greedy player.
Hit you in the face and look you upside the head.
That's funny.
It definitely does. You have to, and it's another one, like you said, you got to pay attention to everything on the table. You got to know what everybody else is doing.
Rick jumping in with the middle school jokes. Fun, Rick.
Wow.
Thank you.
Is Rick still with One Board
for
Family?
joining us. He is. He's hanging on there. So, yep. So he
One
had
more
his,
week, Rick. Good job.
He had his evaluation of 2021, and it wasn't looking good for Rick. No, I'm just playing. No. So I'm skipping my number 2 game, and you're going to talk about how does this work?
You're going to talk about my number 2.
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't have it on your list.
Correct.
And then we'll each hit our number 1s that were on each other's list.
Correct. Yeah.
So hold on, because I had a stack. I gotta work my way through the stack. So this was was this Origins game. So wasn't on my radar. Didn't have any interest. Watched you, Aaron, Derek, maybe. Aaron, Derek, Bob, I think were playing it, and you kind of gave me the quick rundown. And I was like, okay, well that sounds like fun. I like that type of game. And once I played it, I was like, oh, my wife's all-time favorite game. I asked her to come up with a top 10 because I want to see if I can guess it. And I know what number 1 is. It's Century Spice Road Gollum Edition. No question, 100%. And I was like, you love Century. You're going to love Furnace by Arcane Wonders. Because Furnace is a different version of that. That's tight, that's thinky, that doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yep.
Right. Yep. But you gotta work through this game mentally. And I love the mechanics. I love the artwork. Just the cover alone, right, is just stellar.
The cover sucked me in. That's the reason why I purchased it, was because of I love that silhouette. I love the way everything's incorporated. I love the colors. I don't know. I would put that piece of art on my wall. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the playmat fitting in the box. You got to take the insert out. P.S. Yeah. But everything fits in here.
I found a way for it to fit in there without taking the insert out.
Oh really? I threw the insert out. So.
Oh well, too late. So.
I want room for the expansions. But yeah, Furnace is super solid. Highly
good.
Recommend. If you love a good card game, you love top hats, like Rick says there.
If you like top hats. So I think it was my number 7, I believe. But it was on my top 10. So
All right, which circles us back around to number 1.
Number 1.
Neither of you have commented on Mass Transit by Calliope Games. This
I have not played.
As far as I'm concerned, is the greatest co-op game that makes quarterbacking impossible.
Wow.
Okay.
In mass transit, which is 1 to 6, okay, you could play it solo very well. All the meeples are in the city center,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rush hour, and they have to get home. Unfortunately, the planning commission hasn't gotten the routes home finished. They're all under construction.
Mm-hmm.
So your job is to get everybody home before you run out of cards and before you
Okay.
run out of ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has a hand of 4 cards. If you can't play 2 cards, you lose instantly.
Okay.
And so you're playing 2 cards, but you can't tell anybody what's in your hand. So you have to leave openings for everybody else to do things, and you also can't run out of cards. So
Yeah.
if you can't. Again, if you don't have a hand that allows you to play 2 cards, you lose. And some people have to get home by rail. Some people have to get home by bus. Some people have to get home by ferry.
Interesting.
6-sided center board. You draw
Yeah.
6 spokes out. Again, 3 minutes to learn. Huge let's play it again factor.
That's cool.
And
I remember the Smiths talking about that.
Yeah.
The Smiths talked about that, I think, on the podcast. I think they also did a snap review for it. But yeah, I've heard of it. I have not played it, and it sounds like I need to.
The board is 4 jigsaw pieces that fit in that little
Nice.
tiny box that you put together.
And then the cards
That's
are the
awesome.
pieces that actually go
Cards
out.
are other spokes that go out from each of the 6 sides.
That's cool. That's great.
So again, tasty components fitting in a small box,
Yeah.
and lots and lots of fun. It's by my 2 collaborators and friends, Kevin Rogers and Chris Leader. It's Kevin Rogers' first release, and I couldn't be happier for him. And it's
great.
selling quite well. I'm very proud of it.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't played either. I'd love to.
Yeah, I need to check that out. And you mentioning that there's no quarterbacking in that as a co-op, I think that's where, like, I enjoy co-ops. My wife does not care for co-ops that much. She doesn't dominate at the table, and she doesn't care for it when that happens.
Yeah.
And so anything where that couldn't happen, I think, is a positive.
Yeah, if you're in a co-op game and one person sits back and says, "I don't know, what should I do?"
Yeah.
The fun level drops in half instantly.
Yeah,
You
they're not
can't do
invested or
that in
engaged,
Mass
and
Transit.
yeah.
In Mass Transit, every player is, "What can I do?"
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because the rules are so simple, and
Yep,
right.
and nobody has the ability to tell them what to do because they can't see what they've got.
Yep.
So
That makes sense.
I think it's a brilliant design.
Very cool. So my number 1 is Kohaku. This is a Gold Seal Games 25th century collaborative publishing. This is Danny Devine did this and did the artwork for it. It is such an elegant game. Kohaku it's beautiful. We played with obviously this is the acrylic tile version that you got off Kickstarter. It is gorgeous, but we
So
played
much.
with and this is how I know that this game has staying power. Regardless if you have acrylic tiles that are beautiful with beautiful artwork, or if you have little square cardboard. We played the square cardboard prototype over and over and over and loved it for a year, before ever touching this. And so is Kohaku, published officially in 2021 when it fulfilled from Kickstarter, and it is an amazing game. The reprint is on its way, and so do yourself a favor, get the game. I mean, putting on some peaceful, chill music and playing this game and having my wife beat me over and over at it is one of one of my greatest joys. So not winning and having my wife brag about how good she is at building koi ponds is one of my life's greatest things. So
that's awesome. Yeah, it was number 3 for me. It was one of our most played games. Got that OG acrylic tile set. This is going to be a game that I think about with Orleans before they made the Geek Bits, that if you don't have this version, you're gonna be searching it out once you play it because you're gonna want this version. Now, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, like you're saying, the cardboard's great. Andrew showed us the cardboard pieces. They actually have a little bit of a like UV print
That's
on
cool.
them.
That's good.
Yes, peeling those tiles. Oh my gosh.
That was very relaxing. I watched a movie while I peeled those tiles because they have a back and a front
Yeah.
acrylic peeling that you have to like take off of every single tile. It was real relaxing.
I remember doing that for Canvas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
This game Picture Perfect has them, but I had already put the plastic pieces together, so I haven't bothered to take them off.
You're just
I'm like,
leaving them on there.
I'm just
or
leaving
whatever.
them on there. It's
Yeah.
like they're sleeved. They're sleeved
Yeah.
figures, I guess.
They're
but
sleeved
yeah.
acrylic tiles.
But yeah,
Factory
Kohaku is a gem. Like it's an
Yes.
absolute, like you said, chill game that's just beautiful on a table. My daughter, again, I mentioned this a lot, but I have an 18-year-old daughter. If she wants to play it, it's a game that's going to stay high on my list. And that
Yeah.
one's a yeah, I'll definitely play it for her.
That's great.
My number one, which was your number two, which is Beef, and I haven't played Dark Tower yet, but up until now, the most innovative use of
Mhm.
app-based gameplay I've ever experienced was Destiny's from Lucky Duck Games. Yeah, this
So
game
good.
is something else. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to like even explain it to people unless you just get in and say, let's just play it. Right?
Yeah.
It feels like a dungeon crawl, choose your own adventure. You're in the middle of a movie. I loved Chronicles of Crime. It's a fun experience, but Destiny's just feels different. Like
Mhm.
the way it builds, the taking notes. That's awesome.
That's fun.
I will say that I fully expect Divinus,
Divinus. Yeah.
they're one for next year. I got to play the first two modules of that. I really expect that to be one I enjoy more than this,
Okay.
only because that one is straight up competitive, where this one still has a little bit of that
Yeah.
co-op competitive thing going, right?
It's competitive, but then you're working together to unveil
Right.
the map, and you're not really. You're looking at your other two opponents, and you're like, I know that we're not going for the same thing, right? You know. So,
But
yeah.
I mean, even just the time and attention they put into the background noises
Yes.
and music,
Yes.
and you walk into a bar and you hear people having
Yeah.
these random conversations. It's encompassing, and you feel so
Mhm.
in the middle of the game. And
absolutely.
I got the expansion coming. I don't know if have you played the expansion yet?
I have not, but I feel like I have to buy it. So,
Yeah, I got that coming. I'm gonna save it. We're getting together with some of the guys from the team in March. I think I'm gonna save it because none of them have played it, and I don't want to play
yeah.
this again with them. having already played through the rhythm of it.
So I played. So this is interesting. Bob and myself and Aaron played at first, and then Rick came up. Rick came and visited, and I was fine with playing the first scenario again, and
Yeah,
I played it again with Bob and Rick this time. And I just changed out the character. I still really enjoyed it, even though I knew the solution and I knew what the end was for the most part. It was really good. I could not play it a third time, but I think two plays of the same scenario work. So
felt okay.
yeah,
It's good. Yeah, I definitely would give it another go just to be able to say, hey, let's give this a try. But yeah,
One of
solid
my-
game.
One of my favorite things about games are games where your winning strategy
Mhm.
involves helping someone else while you
Yes.
get there. That's why I'm a fan of things like Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Oh yeah.
Where people can, you do your big action, everybody can come in with their small action.
Mhm.
Where what you're doing helps somebody else,
Mhm.
even if what you want to do is have it help you more. But I will play that game over a take that, stab you in the back game
Yeah.
any day of the week.
It's fair.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Got through our top fives, some good
Yep.
games, some hopefully everybody's taking notes like Ken here, and
There we
getting some fun stuff.
I will
some
be looking
options.
at Destinies as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, it's a fun one for sure.
Good. Yeah.
So Ken, we want to leave a few minutes. You mentioned your role with Calliope. What is your?
Mhm.
I know you got a fun title over there with Calliope,
Well, one
right?
of the fun things of working for Calliope is you get to make your own job title. And I am the senior yeoman at Calliope Games, which basically means the old guy that gets stuff done. My job is to take whatever projects off of the President Ray Ware's plate, or the CFO Michelle Weir's, or Chris Leaders. If there's something I can do that makes their life go easier, and I can be part of the process, then it's a delight showing up. So, I may be, making optimizing their outlook, or writing business spreadsheets to help with things, because after all, I was in medical administration and medical leadership as a hospital chief of staff when I was in the military. So I can do project management and programming and Excel spreadsheets and those kind of things. Or if it's prototype design or designing online mods, whatever they need done. That's basically I'm the dirty little jobs guy who does it for my own.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
You said you're the old guys. I thought Chris was older than you. Is he not?
Oh, no. I'm going to pay for that comment.
That's fun.
No, I call them all zygotes. Everybody else in the company is at least 10 years younger than me, and some cases 30 years younger.
A couple of years. You mentioned Manti Caper. You mentioned the game that you just signed. What else can we play of yours? I know there's another big one out there.
Chris and I designed a game called Imagineers by Maple Games. That if you ask really nicely, Surf and Meeple might let you buy a copy of. It's pretty hard to find these days, where you're designing your own roller coasters and theme parks. It's
Nice.
a raw film mechanic that with two-sided tiles. And then again, it has a lot of helping others can end up helping you more. Okay.
That's cool.
There's Suro Phoenix Rising, which is right there.
Back there.
Third
Mhm.
game in the Suro series, where your Phoenix is flying around a board to turn Chinese lanterns into stars. And I was part of the 4-player team putting that together. And then Chris Rogers and Kevin Leader and I were working and listening to lists of intellectual properties that Ravensburger wanted games for. And they mentioned Back to the Future. And Chris called me. You could hear the phone shaking in his hand. We have to have this contract.
That's
So
cool.
So we put together a prototype in 3 weeks, won the contract, and had the game done in 8.
That's awesome.
And we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's being sold in 3 languages all over the U.S. and Europe.
That's really cool.
Dice. Yeah, I love it. It's a great game. I don't know where my copy is. It's around here somewhere. But
Bob
yeah,
has a copy of it.
I love the IP. I love Dice. It's a win-win.
Well, to me, the thing I like is that it's an homage to all 3 games. And if you've seen the trilogy, you will be immersed in the trilogy from the first time,
Mhm.
because that's how it's designed. It's good. And again, I'm not too proud to say this, because Chris really is the lead of the team. We got letters from Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale, the people who designed
Nice.
the trilogy,
Wow.
saying somebody finally got it right. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Oh wow.
That's really
awesome.
cool.
What,
That's
that's an
awesome.
honor. That's,
Yeah. Really.
Full geek circle there. That's awesome.
There we go. That's awesome.
Well, we like to end with what are you playing, right? So
Mhm.
we kind of can throw out one game maybe that we're all recently played, something you've enjoyed playing. What's hitting your table, Ken? What have you played recently?
Well, let's see. We played Arch Revels. My wife and I do love us some Terraforming Mars. Let's see. Quacks of Quedlinburg hits our table quite often. Again, I've been doing a lot of playing of 2 prototypes. Again, one, Chris and Kevin and I are under contract to make a legacy game, and I can't say any more about that, but that'll be coming up soon. And again, my game with working title of Candlelight, I've been playing an awful lot of that.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
Ryan, yourself?
Yeah. Number 10 on my list was Terraforming Mars Ares expansion. I own Terraforming Mars. It's a game that I've had for 4 years, and I've gotten it to the table three times. It's a hard game to get to the table. It's long. it's tough introducing a new person to it and trying to get them up to speed. Terraforming
yeah.
Mars Ares expedition is exactly what I wanted. It's the game that my wife and I will sit down and play. She'll play it with me. She loves it. She loves very meaty engine builder, and that's what this is. It was so cool this weekend because Josiah, our 16-year-old son, has seen us playing this, and he asked about it a couple times, and I said, hey, how about I show you how to play it? And yesterday we sat down for 2.5 hours. He had a little bit of AP trying to figure out what he wanted to do
Right.
and what route he wanted to build. We played for about 2.5 hours, and he loved it, and that just made me even more excited.
I got a suggestion for you.
Yeah.
Debbie and I, my bride and I, she's a wonderful gamer.
Mhm.
The first time she came to one of our game nights, she had never heard of most hobby games, and she smashed us at Kingsburg.
Okay.
That's how I kind of
Such a good game.
It's going to be maybe the one. But we played Terraforming Mars on our iPads with the app.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
And because the app version's setup time is 0,
Yep.
it's a game we're both comfortable with. We can say, hey, how about we play Terraforming Mars? And we're there.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do that with
Yep.
Ocean Explosion. We do that with Ticket to Ride. We'll do that with Stockpile.
Yep.
But Terraforming Mars comes up quite often. So that's one way
That's a
to
good
get
idea.
it to the table because you don't have to put it on the table.
Yep. That's what happens with
Perfect.
Luxor. During the pandemic, Luxor became a go-to game for Aaron and myself. We would just lay there in bed, and she'd be on the laptop, I'd be on the iPad, and we'd be playing Luxor on BGA. It was great, and what made it so great is no setup time, no busting out all the pieces and shuffling things and putting them. It was all ready. So
Just good to go.
yep.
So what are you doing?
Do you have another one?
No, I'll leave the other one off. Yep. So
You leave it for next time.
yeah.
Quick 48 hours left. Blaze on.
Yes.
Get to Kickstarter. 25th Century, beautiful game. We've been playing a little bit of that. But this one was kind of interesting. It's Tranquility from Lucky Duck Games.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It's a co-op. Co-ops are not the first thing my family wants to play. But it's a big, I think it's 8x8 grid of cards,
Mhm.
and similar to like a what's the firework one where you don't say what's in your
Hanabi.
hand.
Hanabi.
Hanabi. You're not revealing what's in your hand. Actually, probably closer to the game, where you're trying to lay numbers down in this grid and
Okay.
try and match and try and fill the grid. You have to discard cards based on what gets played. So you're kind of working together, but trying to read each other's minds. Like, does that
Nice.
person have this number or that number? It played pretty quick. My wife and son and I played this, and we had a good time with it. It's cooperative. The art's really pretty, and it plays in silence, which sometimes is an okay thing to have a game
Mhm.
where you have a little bit of quiet. But it's
cool.
it's a quick little fun co-op.
Nice.
So that's
Very
what
cool.
I got.
All right. Ken, where can people find you online?
Well, not in post offices. Fortunately, the park in Gaithersburg, so that my picture's not there anymore. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Ken Franklin. User ID is Dr. Ken FP for Dr. Ken Family Practice.
Okay.
Elsewhere on Instagram and Twitter, you can find me as Ken Plays the number 2 Grin. Because my logo is I don't play to win, I play to grin.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
So that's where usually you can get a hold of me. I'm also on Discord as Ken Plays to Grin.
Nice. We're everywhere at One Board Family, oneboardfamily.com. Rick has a top 5 list for 2021 coming out this week. I just put out my top 10 list for 2021 and published a full review for Buried Treasure, which is fantastic, over at oneboardfamily.com.
Awesome. I look forward to reading Rick's last article. So we're over at Gaming with Sidekicks, just about anywhere you can find us: social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. MySpace probably if you look hard enough.
There we go. Yeah.
But where you can find us and Rick and Bob and you're over there too. Is Sovereignty?
Sovereignty. Yes.
Sovereignty. I'm told it's pronounced. So
Yeah.
come find Ryan and I. We're over there.
Yeah.
I'm under Isaac Game of Sidekicks. You're Ryan at One Board Family. We're gonna start playing. I'm gonna start getting a little bit more gaming. We're gonna be talking a little bit more about Sovereignty coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
It's a fun platform. They're doing some really cool stuff. If you like playing games online, like Ken was talking about, you like playing games on a laptop, computer, tablet. Sovereignty is something to check out.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
so
really
definitely
fun.
check them out.
The coder in me wants the hidden manual for writing Sovereignty and BGA modules. So if somebody wants to send that to me, I'd be happy to get it.
There we go.
Well, we'll have Danny on soon, so we
degree,
can
my
ask.
pre-med degree was actually in computer science. I mean, I was
Nice.
coding. I've been coding since the TRS-80. So.
Wow. Okay.
That's a few years, sir.
Yeah. It's been a minute. So very cool. Well, you all have an excellent night. Everybody stay healthy and well, and we'll see you next time. All right.
You guys
Thank
too.
you all
Thanks
very
again,
much.
Ken. Yep.
It's
Have a
been a
good night.
joy.
Bye.